you manifesting? What's your spiritual practice? What are you guys putting out into the universe? Can you explain what manifesting is and how to practice this daily? Yeah. Manifesting is taking an idea. This is if you're doing it consciously. You're essentially, your thoughts become your reality. Now, you're manifesting, your thoughts cause you to feel a certain way. I manifestation alchemy. And that vibration that you're putting forth is causing you to attract people, places, situations, circumstances, and events that are in alignment with what you're putting forth. Think of yourself as, it's basically, I'm thinking of a radio right now. There's, a station broadcasting somewhere, and depending on what you're set to, if you're set to 90.7 or love, for example, that's what you're going to be receiving in. Hello. Hi, Bonnie. Now, what happens is most people have had certain experiences that happen to them early on that cause them to form certain beliefs, and from these beliefs they're thinking certain thoughts that are causing them to create the reality, and for most of them it's the same reality over and over again every day unconsciously. So you have about, they say, anywhere from 70 to 100,000 thoughts a day, and most people are unconscious and they're just thinking the same thing over and over, and they're wondering why their lives don't change. Now, what I want you to do is start to become a conscious manifester. Take a conscious approach to what it is you're manifesting. So most people, when they wake up in the morning, their alarm goes off and they're reactionary the whole day. I mean, literally, think about it. An alarm goes off. What's an alarm supposed to do? It's supposed to warn you that there's danger. I want you to start looking at how you're reacting to life. So when you wake up in the morning, first thing is start to look at some things that you can immediately feel grateful for. You're awake. 2, you have a roof over your head. Just something small. And what you're going to do is you're going to start to shift yourself on a positive train of thought. Then second, what I like to do is every day I spend a few minutes in meditation. If you're one of those people who is, on the go right away, you have to get to work by a certain time, then play some relaxing music as you drive to work or an affirmation track and start to affirm you're good. And what's going to happen is you're shifting your thoughts. You're essentially pre-paving your day so that you're causing yourself to attract that which you want. And then third, spend some time in gratitude every morning. I like to think about what it is I'm grateful for. I spend 5 to 15 minutes. And then I also go through my goals and I visualize and I feel what it is I want. So that's an easy way to start to develop a manifestation practice. And then also, I listen to speakers and teachers who are playing at a higher level than I am. And as a result, their thoughts start to affect me and I start to think how they think. And thank you for the roses, Francie. I appreciate that. So someone said, I have fallen off. I've been trying to get back into focus. Any tips? Yeah. And thank you guys for the roses. I appreciate the gifts. I have a number of tips. One, you want to develop a practice. You want this to become habitual so that you do it without thinking. For example, every day you brush your teeth. And so you want your practice to be something along that line where it's just something that you don't have to do any extra effort to do. At first, it's something that you do consciously. Thank you for all the gifts. At first, it's something you have to do consciously and remind yourself to do it. But with repeated practice, it'll eventually become subconscious or unconscious. So I would pick just a few things. What am I going to do every day? Or for all of you, what am I going to do every day that'll up-level my life? For example, you can listen or read 10 or 15 minutes a day of some type of uplifting content. Second, you can spend 10 to 15 minutes a day in meditation. By the way, Tony Robbins says this. He says, if you don't have 10 minutes, you don't have a life. You can make yourself wake up 10 minutes earlier, or a great thing to do is the last 10 minutes before you go to sleep, start to visualize and feel what it is you want. Start to imagine your life is the way you want it to be. Right when you wake up and right before you go to sleep are great times to show yourself what it is you want. They call it programming or conditioning yourself, because your brain starts to go from beta, this awake state of consciousness, into alpha, which is what takes place when you're meditating, and into theta, which is what takes place when you're sleeping at night or under deep hypnosis. And when you're in alpha and theta, the trap door to your subconscious, so to speak, begins to open. You have only one mind, but for the sake of making it easy, we describe it as your conscious and subconscious mind. And you want to start impressing your subconscious with ideas of a positive nature. So every night, start to program yourself. Show yourself what it is you want. Tell yourself you're the best, that things are changing, that you're improving. And that will start to shift your thinking. Also, get a few affirmations that you like saying, such as every day and every way I'm getting better and better. and start to practice saying, or excuse me, start to put them into effect. Start to practice saying those affirmations, and your thinking will begin to shift. Somebody asked me, bro, looking like a scuffed Jake Gyllenhaal things. That's awesome. Hello, awesome. Okay, being on this live up levels my life. Thank you. That's high praise coming from you. So thanks. And you're welcome. I'm glad I'm here. CBT. I'm trying to make sure that I got to everybody's questions. Will lighting a candle while I write my manifestations down help? It's all auto-suggestion. So if you believe that it's going to help you, or let's say you just like it, it puts you in a good state of mind, through the law of vibration, it's going to increase your vibration, which will cause you to manifest better. Or let's say you have the belief that lighting a candle causes things to happen. It's auto-suggestion, so it'll further impress whatever it is into your subconscious. Okay, so I want to make sure. Okay, I deserve prosperity, love, and peace, but why not everything is coming? If everything's not coming to you, there's only one reason that it's not coming. And that's because you're focusing too much of your attention on what it is you don't want and not enough attention on what it is you do want. So you have to adjust your thinking. So I would be aware. A great book, by the way, for somebody who asked me about book recommendations is the book Ask and It Is Given by Esther Hicks. I normally have a copy over here when I do these lives. But at the end of the book, she's got 22 processes to help uplift your vibration. So if things aren't manifesting the way you want, go to the end of the book, see where you are. She has an emotional guidance scale, meaning there's along the scale at the lowest level, there's depression or powerlessness. At the highest level, there's love, appreciation, joy. And she asks you to be clear on, or essentially you want to get clear on where you are on this scale. And then you go to whatever process is in alignment with where you're feeling and do that process to uplift yourself. So you go higher and higher on the scale to manifest more of what it is you want. But for you, the main thing is to focus on what it is you want. This is the mistake a lot of people make when they're manifesting. They spend a few minutes feeling as if they have what it is they want now, and then they open their eyes and they see their current reality, and then they feel bad that they don't have what it is they were visualizing before, and they just negated the good that they just did. Don't be like those people. When you look at your current reality, if it's something that is less than what you want, just realize that it's the accumulation of past thoughts that you've thought up until this point. So take your eyes off your current reality for as much as you can and focus it on what it is you want to feel, what it is you want to experience. And as a result, you'll start creating a positive feedback loop and start attracting more of what you want into your life. So that's something that I highly recommend. An easy trick, by the way, to get yourself into the feeling state of what it is you want. I got this from a speaker by the name of Benito Mazzaro. And he says, talk about whatever it is you want as if it happened. And thank you guys for the likes. Talk about whatever it is that you want as if it happened 2 weeks ago. So let's say you want a promotion at work. Talk about it as if you got it 2 weeks ago. Man, I'm so glad I got this promotion at work. I'm earning more money. I'm doing so much better. I love my new position, my new office, the increased responsibility, whatever it is. And by talking about it as if it took place 2 weeks ago, you'll feel as if you have it right now. And that puts you into the feeling state to attract that which you want. And you do deserve the best of everything. It's from the Bible. It says it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. This power within you wants to express through you. You're the outlet for it to express. So focus on what it is that you want. Feel as if you have it now. Anticipate its arrival, and it'll take place in your life. I feel like we're in the shower together. That's interesting. Hi, Dreamy. Good to see you on here. All right, let me see some of the questions. You look very misty. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with the lighting today or why it's causing me to look like dark. Let me see if I could adjust it, but oh well, we're just going to work with it. I look like I'm like underwater or something. All right, so someone asked me for some book recommendations, and I've got a number of book recommendations that I would recommend. So first and foremost, let me see if I have it here. If I don't, I'm just going to tell you about it. One of my first books I would recommend is The Silva Method by Jose Silva. So it's The Silva Mind Control Method by Jose Silva. As I spoke earlier about those deeper states of mind, it teaches you how to go from beta, this awake state of consciousness, into alpha and into theta, those deeper states of mind, so that you can program yourself at a deeper level of mind. Your subconscious controls your beliefs, your habits, and your bodily functions. And over 95% of what you do is subconscious. So you want to program yourself for success at a deep level. And when you read that book, it'll teach you how. Jose Silva, who wrote the book, he said an affirmation done at alpha, there's beta, then alpha, then theta. He said one affirmation done at alpha is hundreds of times more powerful than done in your normal awake state. So you want to learn how to program yourself at deeper levels of mind. So I highly recommend that book. It's called The Silva Method by Jose Silva. It's $8 or $9. It's an amazing book. Second book I would recommend. Well, my second book I would recommend is Ask and It Is Given by Esther Hicks. By the way, all these books I have in a video on my TikTok page, so don't worry. And they're all in a link in my bio. So don't worry if you miss something. Or just let me know, leave a comment later and I'll tag you in one of the videos. Second book I'd recommend, Ask and It Is Given by Esther Hicks. It's like the A to Z for the law of attraction. It's an easy read. It'll put you in a good mood. You'll feel great about life. It's got a really good vibe. And it'll give you it's a great instructional on how to use this law to create what it is you want. Third book, I would say Jack Canfield's The Success Principles. One of my all-time favorite books. Jack used to say over 90% of the people who read this double their income and double their time off within 2 years or less. You'll learn what your purpose in life is, spiritual laws, how to invest money. I mean, basically everything. Jack was one of the speakers in the hit movie The Secret, and he's also the guy who wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And it's basically it's like having your own coach just walk you through life so you're on the right track. So I would recommend those three. And then also The Master Key System by Charles Haanel. So The Master Key System by Charles Haanel. That book is fantastic. By the way, let me change the lighting in here. That book is fantastic because it'll teach you how to apply these laws. And one of my favorite things about Charles is he didn't start teaching until he demonstrated these principles. So there's a lot of people that I know, and there's nothing wrong with this, but they got rich through the law of attraction or through these spiritual laws by teaching these spiritual laws. Charles Haanel waited until he had a net worth of about $250 million, and he still felt like he hadn't demonstrated these principles enough. And so he only started teaching when people started asking him to teach and really started emphasizing it or started pressing him for it. And that's when he wrote his book, The Master Key System. So it's a great book. And then any other book recommendations? I would start with those four. And then and there's other books. The Art of Spiritual Living by Joel Goldsmith is a great book. I have, what else would I recommend off the top of my head? If any men are in this chat, I would recommend Way of the Superior Man by David Deida. So there's a lot. Does manifestation really work and change things? Yes. Let's say you're one of those people, you're like, Tony, I don't believe in manifestation. Thank you for the rose. You're like, I don't believe in manifestation. I think it's nonsense. It's a bunch of woo-woo. Here's why you should study it anyways. Your beliefs, your thoughts create your beliefs. And let me just try to put this book away. Your thoughts lead to your feelings, which lead to your actions, which lead to your results. So you want to become conscious of what thoughts you're thinking, because those are going to lead to your feelings, and based on how you feel is going to dictate what actions you take, which are going to create your results. So even if you're not into manifestation at all, if you think it's just nonsense, you still want to practice it on some level or be aware of what you're thinking, because that's what's creating your belief systems, and it's also creating what actions you're going to take, which create your results. So irrespective of whether you are into manifestation or not, you should still understand the principles of how your mind works. If Road to Roses is still in here, by the way, I recommend following her and also Manifestation Alchemy. They're both two powerful women who know their stuff. And she talks a lot about the science behind all this stuff and how your mind works. So you want to know how your mind works, how you're creating your life, essentially, how to reprogram yourself to get the results you want. So I recommend studying this stuff. How do you suggest ignoring the 3D? This is a great question. Give me 1 second. Let me just turn on this backlight so I can get better lighting, and then I will answer that for you. Hopefully I get better lighting. If not, whatever. 1 sec, guys, and then I'll answer that. So you said, how do I suggest ignoring the 3D? Is this better or is this worse? Let me see. Nah, I'll leave it on. Fuck it. All right. No, I don't know if I like that. Okay. How do I suggest ignoring the 3D? So realize this is what I would recommend. Realize there's a gestation period for everything, meaning that there's a certain incubation period for every idea that you have, or for everything actually. For example, when a woman is pregnant, it takes 9 months for her to have a child on average. When you plant a seed in the ground, it can take anywhere from 20 days to 60 days for it to take place. So when you're holding an image in your mind of what it is you want and showing it to yourself and feeling as if it's taking place, you've impressed this idea on your subconscious, and it's going to begin to manifest in your body and in your environment as either health or dis-ease according to the nature of the idea. Now, your job is to be patient while it begins to manifest, and remind yourself that there's a gestation period. And if you're going to think about it, I would think about it in a positive state of mind. Start to expect its arrival. Start to think and act and behave in a way to allow it for its arrival to come. For example, a woman came to me and she wanted to manifest a spouse. So we made an image, a list. I had her write out my ideal relationship, and she listed what the man is like, what the relationship is like, how she behaves in the relationship. And then I asked her, I said, if you knew your man was on the way, what would you be doing differently? And she said, I wouldn't be wearing these old clothes. And she said, I would be in shape and I'd get my hair done. And I was like, okay, perfect. Go do those things now. So she went and did them. She started exercising. She got her hair done. She went and changed her wardrobe. And people will say, ironically or coincidentally, she ended up meeting her man, I would say like within a week or less of doing this. And he told her on one of their first dates, he said, one thing I love about you is what kind of style you have. You're all dolled up when we go out. And he didn't know that she just got her hair done and bought this new wardrobe in anticipation for him. But she had. So you want to start to live so that which you've been putting forth can start to come. And also, don't negate your good. Meaning, let's say you want, I don't know why, but I always use this example every time I talk about this. Let's say you want a Corvette. And you start thinking about this Corvette and what it's like to drive it, and you feel yourself you feel the leather seats and your hand on the steering wheel, and you feel so good imagining that you're there in this car driving it down the street. And then you finish your daydream or your visualization, and you come out of it, and then you start telling yourself, well, I don't know if I can really afford a Corvette. I don't know if now's the right time, blah, blah, blah. So don't negate your good. You just sowed something positive into life and have some faith that it's going to take place. Faith is the lever that unlocks your infinite potential, your soul's potential, is something that I say. So start to anticipate it. If you were at a restaurant and you're hungry and you placed an order for a meal, and let's say you're at a fancy restaurant, you would be excited, you'd be looking forward to what the waiter is going to bring out. And you would know that the chef is in the back making it. So in like fashion, have a little bit more faith in this power back of you that it's working things together for your good. That's one. And then two, be crystal clear on what it is you want, because clarity is power. It'll stop you from doubting, going into those lower vibrations, into those lower thought forms, and it'll cause you to have that faith when, it might seem like things aren't manifesting. Remember, you plant a seed in the dark and it takes a certain amount of time before you see something. And in like fashion, you're planting a seed, this idea, into your subconscious, and it takes a certain amount of time depending on the nature, the intensity of your desire, your belief, and then how much resisting your thoughts you're thinking in the interim. So you want to minimize that resistant thought because it's causing all the good that's coming to you to slow down. So focus on what you want. And one thing, I got this exercise from Esther Hicks. There's a great talk of hers called How to Match the Frequency of Unlimited Abundance. It's on YouTube. So How to Match the Frequency of Unlimited Abundance. And one thing that I like to do is several times a day, actually every time I eat, I ask myself, what's going right in my life right now? So again, what's going right in my life right now? And she said, there's certain things in your life that you want to manifest, but you think they're too big or they're really big. So you think they take a long time to manifest. And she said, every time you ask yourself this question and you answer it, what's going right in my life right now? She said, this is going to cause you to gradually shift your thoughts and vibrations until you become a vibrational match to everything that you want. Also, every time you answer this question, you're focusing on what's good. So the universe is going to give you more of that which is good. So that's a great way to just keep yourself on track. Ask yourself repeatedly throughout the day, what's going right in my life right now? Answer that question and you'll feel better as you go through your day. Let me know if that answers your question. How to address fear of losing family members to illness. I would affirm their spiritual truth. So I'll explain what I mean by this. In Joel Goldsmith's book, it's either Joel Goldsmith's book, The Art of Spiritual Healing, or it's Ernest Holmes' book, where is Ernest Holmes' book? I have it right here. The Science of Mind. It's one of the two. One of them says there's nothing to be healed. There's only truth to be revealed. So what do we know about God? If there's anything that is a fact about God. God, what do we say? God is all-knowing, all-powerful, everywhere present, right? And all-perfect. There can be no dis-ease within God. And so right where your family members are, the perfection of God must be. So I would affirm their spiritual truth. That's how when people do spiritual mind treatments or affirmative prayer, that's what they're doing. They're realizing in their consciousness where, I'm just making up a name, where Sally is, God is, therefore God is perfect, so Sally must be perfect. And they work it out in their consciousness, and by them focusing on the perfection of Sally, that's what ends up manifesting or being reflected for Sally. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't give into fear. What is fear? Fear is false experiences appearing real. You're predicting the future in a negative fashion. So that's not what you want to do. You want to focus on the good. Focus on, thank you for the gift. You want to focus on the good in your life. Focus on the perfection of God. Focus on higher spiritual truths. And as a result, you'll manifest more of that for the people in your life. There is a quote by Goeth that I posted on one of my videos, and a bunch of women got pissed at me for it. I said, see a man as he is, and he becomes worse. See him as what he could be, and he becomes what he should be. Now, I should have given more info about the quote, but women thought that I was talking about if you're dating a guy who's a piece of crap, that if you see him as an angel, he becomes an angel. But that's not what I meant. I meant I meant to see the infinite potential that's within you and within other people. And by seeing that, they'll start to express more of that. Through the law of vibration, you'll lift those people up. I saw one time in a dream, it was this thing called blasphemy. And I remember I wrote something about it that my spiritual center ended up printing, that we see people through incorrect spiritual lenses. And when we do so, we do them a disservice. So if I see a person, let's say I see a homeless person, I say, oh, he's a homeless person, and I say something negative about him in my mind, I've just made that person worse and myself worse by not affirming his truth. But if I see this person and he's homeless, and I say, you know what, within this person is the infinite power of God, he's infinite intelligence, he's infinite wisdom, through the law of vibration, I vibrated something out higher to him, and he's lifted up, and so am I as a result of it. So that's what I would recommend doing to help other people. Thank you for answering me. You're welcome. Everything you're saying is so accurate. I love meeting other like-minded people. Oh, awesome. Okay. And I'm glad you're all here. Thank you, guys. Dude, I was scrolling through TikTok. I went past you, went back because your face showed me, oh, you're a spiritual person with a lot to give. Thanks. I'm just a reflection of you. So whatever good you see in me is a reflection of you. So thank you. Ton is definitely, yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Awesome. Let me see. I'm going through some of the comments, make sure. Can you say that one more time? Feelings to results. Oh yeah, thoughts lead to your feelings, which lead to your actions, which lead to your results. Hi, Bianca. Okay, I'm just scrolling through. Oh, here's an easy way for me to, okay. So they changed the scrolling, the comments feature, so I'm just going through everybody right now. And give me 1 second. Okay, cool. Someone said, I attract only good experiences, and so it is. Amen. Yeah, tell yourself, everything works together for my good. Imagine that there's a conspiracy of good on your behalf. And there is. Remember, your thoughts are coloring your reality. You're dealing with an infinite power that's being colored by your perceptions of it. So if you're going to have it work for you. Tell yourself that you're getting better every day and everywhere, that everything works together for your good, that your life is so great that tomorrow you're excited to see what comes into your life tomorrow. My aura is purple. Okay, awesome. Someone said, oh yeah, you said I quoted 3 different books in the last 3 minutes. I do that a lot. Erica, let me know. So Erica said she got her Jose Silva book today. Let me know what you think of it. I think it's life-changing. Someone asked, why sometimes my manifesting takes so long to come into 3D? So if your manifesting is taking long to come into your 3D, there's two reasons. One, you have this belief. Well, there could be three reasons. One, you could have a belief that this is something big and therefore it takes a long time. So a lot of people, let's say they want to manifest $100. It doesn't, to the universe, it doesn't matter if it's $100 or $150,000. It's all the same to the universe. But certain people have ideas about what manifesting $150,000 should look like. They think, they have to go work a certain number of hours and they have to do so many deals and all this stuff, which is not the truth. Your job is just to see as if you have it now and feel as if it's taking place in your life now, and the universe will take care of the details. For example, we should do this again. I was once part of this forum, and on the forum it was a self-help forum, and in the forum there was a subsection called for metaphysics. And so me and a group of people were talking on it one day about manifestation and what could we manifest to put this power, to demonstrate this power, so to speak. And we said the easiest thing that's verifiable is money. So we said, how much does everybody want to manifest? And so we said, I believe it was $20,000. So there were 7 of us, and I said, everybody spend 1 to 2 minutes a day visualizing that you have the $20,000, and imagine that you're typing in your story to the other people about how you got it, and imagine you're congratulating all the other members in the group for achieving their $20,000 manifestation. Now, energy is multiplied when it comes together. This is the theory. I don't know if this is true or not, but Jack Canfield talks in his book about how when you have 7 people all focusing on one thing in unison and harmony, he said it's not 7 individual units, so 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 until there's 7. He said it's 7 to the power of 7, so it's the equivalent of 49 individual people working on something together. That, I don't know if that's true or not, but I wrote that in the group. I said, hey, it's 7 of us. Let's focus on this in harmony. Imagine this for everybody. So within 3 days of me visualizing this for everybody and them visualizing it for me, I ended up, a guy who owed me money I had loaned him money way back in the past that I never thought I was going to get paid back for, sent me $3,000. And then the next day I met with my accountant about something separate, and she was looking at some of my tax records, and she said, hey, Tony, I think I can save you $17,000 on your taxes. And I ended up getting my $20,000 like that. Somebody else, his aunt gifted him a car worth $20,000. Another person, they got a bonus for $20,000. Everybody within 6 days ended up getting their $20,000. One woman, his aunt unfortunately passed away. She left him in the will something, and then he ended up getting his $20,000. But within 6 days, everybody had their money. So the reason I mentioned this whole story is there's no big or small to the universe. You just need to get clear on what it is you want. If you think it's big, get rid of that. Just tell yourself, to the universe, this is easy, and it's easy, and what else would I say? I would just tell myself it's easy and I can have it. Second, you want to be aware of how much time you're focusing in resistant thought and how, in essentially on what it is you don't want. Because remember, your job is to focus on what it is you do want. There's nothing more important than you feeling good. And third, you want to see if there's any beliefs that are limiting you from having what it is you want. Now, if you're not sure what your limiting beliefs are, just take a look at your life. Are your relationships the way you want it to be? Is your health the way you want it to be? Wherever there's a lack or shortage, that's an indicator of some type of subconscious idea that you have in your mind. So you want to go and write out its positive opposite and start to affirm that and start to visualize that and watch things begin to shift for you. Let me know if that helps. You read the Success Principles? Yeah, good job. All right, awesome. When's my book coming out? My book is out. It's called How to Manifest Your Dream Life. There's a link in my bio. So if you guys want to read it, I highly recommend it. It's the greatest book in the whole world. That's my shameless plug. You said you popped in and missed the first 2 books. It was The Silva Mind Control Method and Ask and It Is Given. And hi, Bianca. It's good to see you. How about Neville Goddard? I'm a big fan of Neville Goddard. Neville, he had two instructors, not Thomas Trueward. Oh my God. I'm going to make a video tomorrow about one of Neville's instructors that Neville hardly ever mentions, because he got some amazing ideas from this guy about how the mind works. And I always like to go to the source. This guy was one of the founders one of the people who helped popularize hypnotism in the United States. So I want to talk about him because he deals with some really good laws of the mind. He helped popularize the ideas of suggestion, conscious mind, subconscious mind. But a lot of people, unfortunately, haven't heard of him. So I'm going to make a video about him tomorrow. And Neville Goddard, I love Neville Goddard. Manifestation Alchemy will kill me if I say anything bad about him. No, he talked about the law of assumption, which to me is essentially it's the law of gender. From, if you're into, what's the book? The Kabbalion. It was, as far as I'm aware, or it's one of the oldest books that talks about spiritual laws. And the law of gender is all about taking the masculine component, your conscious mind, and focusing on an idea to the exclusion of all else until that idea gets impregnated on your subconscious mind, which is the feminine element, and then it'll begin to express that idea in your body and in your environment. So you want to be aware of what ideas you're focusing on, that you're concentrating on, because you're taking them from your conscious mind and putting them into your subconscious. I wish I could save your live to my feed. My boyfriend doesn't get it and you explain it better than I do. Oh, okay. If you want, I'll put the video up on my YouTube channel tomorrow and then you could have your boyfriend watch it. Okay, I think I answered that. Okay, I'm just looking through some. Trying to manifest old job back through positive thoughts and didn't get called back. Others did. So, what I would do is, you said, why is it that when I think negative, good things happen, but when I think positive, I don't manifest? First, you're manifesting at all times, whether you realize it or not. Now, you spent a certain amount of time in positive thoughts, and then, so you said when you think negative, good things happen, but when you think positive, I mean, that defies law as far as I'm aware. Now, the real question is, how much do you believe that what it is you're going to take place is going to happen? That's like, forget positive and negative. I would focus on faith and fearful. Do you really believe that what's going to happen is, do you believe that what you want is going to happen? And even forget positive thoughts. What I would recommend doing is putting yourself into the feeling state. What would it feel like if I had what it is I want now? So if you were working in your old job, what would it feel like if you had that job? Now, I wouldn't even focus on the old job. What I would do is just see myself working in the job I want. It could be that job. It could be another job that's of a similar description. Or you could see yourself coming home every day feeling good about a good day's work, or see your bank account growing and let the universe handle the details. So if you feel like you're thinking good and negative thoughts and good things are happening, or vice versa, forget all that. Just put that aside and get into the feeling tone. Imagine what it is you want and feel as if you have it now, and that vibration will supersede all the smaller details. Okay, cool. Let me see. I'm looking through some of the... Let me know if that answers your question. I love Joe Dispenza, but people tell me he's creating a cult. Not at all. Joe does a great job. So does Road to Roses. So definitely follow her if she's on here, or just look her up. Joe does a great job of bridging the metaphysical with the physical. So the spiritual with the scientific. So I'm a big fan of his. And a cult is something that if you leave it, you're going to get shunned or shamed for it. If you don't go to a Joe Dispenza event, nobody cares. Joe's he's a great guy. He's doing his best to present this work in a way that makes sense to people. And I'm a big fan of his. What about gratitude journal is a game changer? Absolutely. Trap, I read your comment and I thought it was funny. I'm not going to repeat it in case it offends anyone, but that's funny. Gratitude journal is a game changer. Absolutely. Every time you focus on gratitude, you're focusing on what it is you want. So you're telling the universe, I like this, so give me more of it. So I'm a big fan of it. There was something, oh yeah. So, a Book of Positive Aspects by Esther Hicks. Speaking of gratitude journal, Esther recommends spending 15 minutes in meditation, and after meditating, spending 15 minutes doing a book of positive aspects, where you answer the following questions about somebody. What do I like about you? What do I love about you? What are your positive aspects? So let's say I pick Tony Robbins. What do I like about you? I like that he's confident, he speaks his truth, he makes a powerful difference. What do I love about him? I love that he's willing to take a chance. He's not going to let anybody fail. He'll do whatever it takes to get results for people. And then what are his positive aspects? He's kind, he's loving, he's good with his money, he's a successful businessman, yada yada. So you spend 15 minutes doing this, and what it's going to do is it's going to clear the channel between you and you, so to speak. You have a higher self, you can call it your subconscious, the infinite intelligence within you, that innate spirit. There's that part of you that knows what's best for you. It's constantly trying to guide you through your feelings. And when you start to spend 15 minutes every day focusing on on gratitude or this book of positive aspects, it's going to clear up your vibration, so to speak. And Esther said within a few days of doing this, inspiration, thank you for the gift, inspiration and insights are going to occur to you, and you're going to have clarity about what it is you want. So if you're ever confused about your life or not sure what to do, spend 15 minutes in meditation, spend 15 minutes in gratitude or doing your book of positive aspects, and within 2 to 3 days, you'll get the answer to what it is your problem is. What about the sabotage and demonic attack because of power assertion? Those who want you subjugated. You're the deciding factor in your life. You are the creator of your reality. It's your beliefs that are coloring this power, that are coloring it, that are limiting it, that are expanding it. So remember that you're the creator of your reality. So show yourself and imagine what it is you want. Show yourself and feel that. And anything that tries to get in your way, there is nothing in reality. There's no power greater than God. There's only one power, the highest power. That's what I would tell myself. And so all those other things can fall by the wayside. So I wouldn't even get wrapped up into any of that. And if, thank you for the glasses. Jesus said you only need faith the size of a mustard seed. A mustard seed, if you see it, is this small, but it grows fast. And so all you need is a little bit of faith. Just have a little bit of faith, and it'll move mountains for you. And those mountains are those beliefs, thank you for the gift, are those limiting beliefs. Get rid of them in your subconscious mind and watch how things change for you. I want to hear more about that. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Awesome. Okay, 2 entertaining movies, Hypnotic, also Behind Her Eyes. I haven't seen those, but I'm going to screenshot this so I can check them out. When I journal, I write down how much SP loves me and is obsessed with me. Any tips on journaling about SP? So, I got this actually from Neville. I know a lot of people teach manifesting your SP, but Neville himself said, don't focus on a specific person. Thank you for the roses. He said, focus on the end result of what it is you want. So I wouldn't worry about a specific person. I would focus on the feeling tone, the end result. So I would see, for instance, you can see yourself having your wedding dress on and being happily married. Or you can see yourself about to go to sleep and taking your ring and putting it on the bedstand by your bed. He said so many women have told him, I want to marry that man, or it has to be that man. And he said, no, focus on the end result. And it turned out to be somebody else other than who they originally thought. And he would be at their wedding feeling good. He thought it was almost not comedic, but he got a kick out of it. And so your job is just to focus on the end result. You're dealing with an infinite power within you that knows the best route to bring you to the end result. So show it what it is you want. I don't like to, just as I wouldn't throw physical chains around somebody, I don't like to throw mental chains around a person. And so I'm not a big fan of manifesting a specific person. What's going to happen is you put out a vibration towards them. If they're in alignment with it, if they resonate to it, they're going to match up with it and you two will be together. But if they're not, you can keep vibrating to this all day long and putting forth these thoughts, and it may or may not reach them because they're not in resonance with it. And I'll give you an example from my own life. So I was staying with one of my friends in LA one day, and I went shopping. And while I was shopping, I suddenly had this urge. I was like, man, I said, it's, you know what? It's about time I get into a serious committed relationship. And I remember thinking like, what the and then right as I thought that, this woman came up who was really attractive. We started talking and she gave me her phone number. And I was like, where did this come from? I was like, I don't want to get into a serious relationship because I had just gone out of a serious relationship. And so, and I was thinking, whose thoughts are these? Somebody must be sending me these thoughts. Remember, thoughts are things. They travel through the airwaves and land on people who are receptive to them. So I was thinking, whose thoughts are these? They're not my own. And I wrote down the time. It was like 6:37. So I go back to my friend's place, and my friend asked me, she goes, "Hey, Tony, I was meditating earlier, and I was visualizing you in a loving relationship, and what's it called? I was thinking how nice it would be if you met somebody and you settled down and got into a serious relationship." And I told her, I said, "Yeah, I picked up on it. Let me guess. It was at 6:37." And she said, "Yeah, how'd you know the time?" And I told her what happened. I met that woman. And then I told her I wasn't interested in a serious relationship. But my friend knew about persisting. And so she kept persisting in what's it called? The image of me being in this relationship. Now, a few months go by. I talked to my friend again, and she goes, "Hey, Tony, has anything changed?" And I said, "No, nothing had changed in my dating life. I was single. I was enjoying it." And then she felt like a failure. She said, "Well, I've been persisting and seeing this for you, man. Maybe I'm not good at this." And I said, No. I said, "You've been persisting in me having a serious relationship, but I wasn't in alignment with it." I said, "But watch who shows up in your life now, because you've put forth all of this stuff." And sure enough, she ended up meeting her husband. She had been single for maybe 6 or 7 years prior to that, and she ended up meeting her husband, and now they're married. So if I send you a package and you don't want it, it comes back to you. And so where am I going with this? So basically, put forth what it is you want. Don't focus on a specific person. Focus on the end result of what it is you want. And then also, I would make a list, my ideal relationship, and list what the person's like, what the relationship is like, and what you're like within this relationship, and see it and feel it. And you'll be putting forth an image and vibration, and watch who shows up in alignment with it. Those are my tips for that. Love this idea of positive aspects. Please, can you do a post on this? Thank you. Yeah, I'll do one tomorrow. And hi, Jennifer. Good to see you on here. Through the law of attraction, we know our attention ought to be to light. Yeah, you want to focus on that which feels good. And I want to say something else about the law of attraction. So, one, where am I going with this? Oh, yeah. So you want to raise your vibration. I'll answer your question in a second, Anna. One, you want to raise your vibration, meaning you want to think those thoughts, a thought of love is a higher vibration. It's a higher electromanifestation of the brain than a thought of hate. So you want to think thoughts of love and joy and peace and harmony. Also, one thing that most spiritual teachers or teachers of this stuff never talk about is amplitude. You want to hold the feeling for... Well, Dr. Fleet, who I got this from, he said for at least 33 seconds, because it takes 33 seconds on average for an idea to vibrate so strongly that it goes from your conscious mind into your subconscious. And he said once it's in your subconscious, those cells will vibrate beneath the surface 24 hours a day, manifesting, attracting to you what it is you want. And he said also at that point, the amplitude is strong enough to shift things in your reality. So a lot of people think a thought, and then they think another thought and another thought. And so the energy isn't high enough, so to speak, to really shift things. So spend a minute or two in love and joy, feeling what it is you want. Esther Hicks says you're 68 seconds away from having whatever it is you want. That 68, focusing on something to the exclusion of all else, seeing and feeling as if you have it now. She said just 68 seconds of concentrated effort on what it is you want is the equivalent of 2 million hours of actual physical labor. So all you got to do is just spend a couple minutes focusing on what it is you want, and that energy will be high enough, that amplitude will be high enough to change your whole life. Now, Anna, you said, so scripting about SP is pointless. No, it's not pointless at all. Because let's say you're focusing on somebody who also is a vibrational match to you. So every time you're scripting, you're writing out me and, I'm just making up a name, me and Eric are in a happy, healthy, loving relationship. You're feeling as if you have him now, and you're putting forth this vibration. So you're attracting more of Eric into your life. And you're also impressing this idea on your subconscious, which controls your beliefs, your habits, and your bodily functions. So a few things are going to happen. One, your beliefs, you're going to start to believe more and more every day that it's possible that it can take place, which is going to cause it to manifest faster in your life because you're not going to doubt it, so you'll have less resistant thought. Two, as you keep showing yourself, you keep scripting every day about your ideal man, your desire for it is going to build, which is going to increase your vibration. And then, hold on one second. And then third, there was something else. There was a point, I read the comment and then whatever I was thinking about popped out of my head. So, oh yeah, your belief, your desire. Then third, your brain filters in. There's a part of your brain called your reticular activating system that filters in all your information. And so when you keep showing yourself your ideal man and you keep scripting it out, your brain's going to say, oh yeah, this is important. This man is important now. Let me go find him. And it'll start looking for him everywhere. For example, if we start talking about BMWs, prior to this talk, no one was thinking about BMWs. But if I spend the next 20 minutes telling you about how amazing BMWs are, have you visualize yourself driving one, feeling as if you had it now, you'll start noticing BMWs everywhere you go after that. Also, when you start showing yourself something that you want, it starts to create cognitive dissonance. You'll want to take actions to make that a reality. For example, if I start having you all close your eyes and start imagining a pepperoni pizza, and you're biting into this slice of pizza and tasting it, and it tastes so good, you might not be hungry right now, but if I keep having you visualize this, your subconscious, which doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's false, it'll start to have biological changes, and you'll start to get hungry, and you'll go take an action to get yourself fed. And like fashion, if you keep showing yourself your ideal man, and like fashion, you'll eventually, there'll be so much dissonance, you'll start to take actions to make him a reality. So by the way, if you're ever lazy, if you feel like you're lazy, that's an easy way to get yourself into motion. Keep showing yourself what it is you want, what it is you want, what it is you want. In the first person, make the images bright, really feel as if you have it now, and that'll build up your desire and cause you to take action. Now, let me read these comments. I manifested him back before, but it ended bad. I'm blocked, and I found out he's with someone else. Okay, so I have a few questions for you. One, if he doesn't want to be with you and he's with somebody else, why do you want to manifest somebody who doesn't want to be with you? You look like an attractive, beautiful woman. So, there's billions of guys out there that would love to be with you. So a lot of times, I ask people, and it might be too blunt, but I have them finish the sentence. If I had high self-esteem, I would, and 90% of the women who answer this question say, oh, I wouldn't manifest him. I'd go manifest somebody else. So, I wonder, is this a self-esteem issue? Why are you chasing after somebody who doesn't want to be with you? That's one. Two, a lot of people, they want to manifest their SP back. So they see and feel as if they have him now, but they haven't changed their ideas about relationships. And so what they do is they just attract that person back into their life, and they recreate what caused them to break up in the first place, and they break up again. So what I would do is write out my ideal relationship and list out how he is, how you are, not him specifically, but how you want your ideal man to be, how you are, and what the relationship is like, and see and feel it. And either he'll match up with your new vibe, or you'll attract somebody who does. And you said Eric is your ex's name, not the one you're manifesting. That's ironic of all the names I picked. So that's interesting. So is that what you're calling manifesting? It's called attachment. It's not conscious. Attachment is a real thing. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, Aaron. Manifesting is just holding in your mind, focusing on what it is you want, the thoughts and images of what it is you want, and feeling as if you have it now. And by putting forth that vibration, you're going to cause yourself to attract into your life that which is in alignment with it. So like attracts like, essentially. I think you've definitely attached because he's the only person I've slept with. Yeah, well, that's understandable then. But realize, there's literally millions of guys that would love to be with you. There's probably thousands of guys that you could be a healthy match with. So I would spend some time writing out your new list, your new image, and see who manifests from there instead of chasing after him. How to work on self-concept and self-esteem. Good question. Let me just finish answering the question before. Hello, I didn't do. And by the way, when a woman sleeps with a man, her body produces certain chemicals to make her feel attached to him. So that's normal what you're experiencing right now. But if, you guys broke up, he's with somebody else. So I would get a clear idea of what it is you want to consciously manifest. A lot of people are manifesting by default. Their parents showed them a certain way about how relationships should be. And as a result, they're just recreating that unconsciously. For example, I had a woman one time, she was going to marry this rich man that she wasn't attracted to. And I said, why are you marrying him? And she's like, isn't that what women do? And I said, no. I said, let me guess, your mom married your dad because he's wealthy? And she said, yeah, how did you know? And I said, well, it's clear that's where you got that idea. So we made her list. I had her make her list of her ideal man. She ended up leaving the guy she was with. They were engaged at the time. She sent me a message maybe a year later. She got remarried. She met the love of her life. That was her list. She got remarried, and her ex-fiance got remarried, and they're both in happy relationships. Am I single? Yes, I am right now. So I've been focusing. I was in a serious relationship, and then after we split up, I said I wanted to take some time to focus on myself, to grow, to heal, to improve, and then now that's basically it. And here I am. Now let me see. Another question came in. I just mean you want your ex because there's emotional attachment that's not wholly conscious. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. So you want to examine that. You want to ask yourself, why do I want to be with somebody? So, or, excuse me. A lot of people are chasing after somebody who mistreats them. And I go, well, why do you want to be with somebody who's mistreating you? I'm not going to say my age only because, not because of you. I can tell you privately if you want. But one time on a live, somebody went and tracked down my address and where I live. And so the internet's an interesting place. So if you want, I can tell you privately. I'm in San Diego, actually. I used to live in LA. So I used to live in Hollywood. What's something you learned from your last relationship? If somebody doesn't want to grow, there's very little you could do. So I'm into self-growth. I'm into work. I like to work. I like to work out a lot. I like to do a lot of stuff. And the woman I was with, when COVID happened, a bunch of stuff happened. She had to move back home. She lost her place where she was living. And so things slowed down for her. And so you have me going 1,000 miles an hour and her not being in a good place. And so it wasn't working. I'm constantly about self-growth, and she wasn't really into that stuff. And it just became too big of a disconnection, unfortunately. She's a beautiful person. We ended on good terms, but so basically you can't force people to grow. That's one. And two, I already knew this, but I know it even more now. Your happiness cannot depend on any person, place, or thing. One of my favorite spiritual teachers once said, he said, if your happiness depends on any person, place, or thing, then you're pitifully deluded, because that can change in an instant. That person can pass away. That job can no longer exist. So your happiness needs to come from within. So I'll be an ER nurse in 2 months. I know great things are happening for me. Absolutely, they are. They're happening for you in all areas of your life, in your relationships, in your work, in every area and aspect. All right, so I've been talking for maybe an hour now, so I'm going to conclude this live. If anyone's got any other questions, feel free to ask. If you don't follow me, please do. I talk about this kind of stuff pretty much every day. I make tons of videos for you all to be happy and healthy. If you want more, you can check out my book, How to Manifest Your Dream Life. It's only $10. You can also check out my Udemy course. It's got almost 5 stars, 11,000 people registered. It's 8 hours of me talking. So I'll cover the A to Z of metaphysics for you. I'll just take you by the hand and off we'll go. And or if you don't want to spend anything, just subscribe to my YouTube and TikTok channel, and I'll continue to produce great content for you. I want to manifest so I have more energy to fulfill my daily chores. Can you guide how to do that? Yes. So everything starts with an image in your mind. So I would start to imagine myself as this person who's energized, who's full of life. And I would tell myself that I am. I'm energetic. I'm full of life. I'm strong. I have high levels of energy. That's one. Two, I would change my diet and my exercise routine if you have one. I'm currently doing your course on Udemy. Oh, awesome. All right, let me know what you think. So I hope you're enjoying it. And then, thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. Two, I would change my diet and my exercise routine so that I have lots of energy. And essentially, there's the image of me being this energetic person. Then my thoughts would be I'm healthy and energized, or I have high levels of energy. And third, that's 1, 2. And then third, I would take whatever actions I need to so that I have more energy, meaning change your diet, change your exercise routine, change when you sleep, and anything else you need to change so you have higher levels of energy. And you're welcome, Anna. I saw your forgiveness video, but it doesn't feel right to forgive. What's another way to see it? Remember, when you're doing forgiveness, you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for them. So let's say they had, I had people that abused me in all kinds of ways growing up. My childhood was less than ideal. My father was in prison until I was 23. I grew up in a really rough, violent environment. and an environment where people thought that that kind of behavior is normal. So I had a lot to work with. I got to flex my spiritual muscle, so to speak. And what up, Anthony? Good to see you, brother. So the reason I mentioned that is I'm forgiving them. What they did obviously wasn't right. I wouldn't want anyone to mistreat me. That's right, my brother. So are you. I wouldn't want anyone to mistreat me, but I'm forgiving them not because it doesn't mean I'm saying what they did is okay. It doesn't mean that I'm allowing them to come back into my life. I'm just releasing it so that it no longer affects me. There's that saying, resentment is like drinking poison, hoping the other person gets sick. Now, Mahmoud, my brother, good to see you on here. It's been a minute. So, I was talking about forgiveness. So one thing that I would do is I would just start to, you don't have to forgive that certain specific person. Take a step back and make it more vague. Tell yourself, I forgive every person that has ever wronged me, and I'm forgiven by every person that I've ever wronged. So make it more general. Start to impress those ideas into your subconscious. That's one. Two, see yourself, start to imagine yourself as somebody who's totally healed, that's totally whole, that doesn't need, that doesn't have any grievances towards anybody. And your subconscious will say, oh, this is me now. And it'll take whatever steps it needs to take to make you that person. And then third, if at a certain point it feels right for you to forgive that person, then go for it. And if it doesn't, then I would do the first two the first two ideas. Start to affirm that you're forgiving everybody, even if it's not that specific person. Start to imagine that you are totally whole and healthy and happy, full of love. And then third, you can also start to work with a coach or a therapist and start to work through your repressed emotions, so to speak, so that those things aren't bothering you. It's like imagine somebody comes and gives you a bunch of weights. And they're like, here, I don't want to carry this. You carry this shit. And now you're just walking around carrying it and you don't know why. And it's not your stuff. It's their crap that they couldn't deal with that they gave to you. So, enough is enough. You're forgiving it. You're healing it, not for them, but for you, so that you can move on, so that your load will be lighter, so to speak, and you can move forward. Is your book in your bio? Yes. So there's a link in my bio. You can get it on Amazon. What do I think about Earl Nightingale? I love Earl Nightingale. He is for those of you who don't know who Earl is, he came up with it was an audio recording called The Strangest Secret. And he wanted to know, why do so many people when they're, basically, it was the precursor to the hit movie, The Secret. And he wanted to know, why do so many people who have so much opportunity in life, when they're older, they don't have money, so many people end up not where they want to be. And so they call him the Dean of Motivation. And basically he has this it's a 30-minute talk. It's on YouTube. It's called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And he has you write down 3 things that you want on a note card and show them to yourself every day and get clear on what it is you want. If you don't have goals, if you don't know where you're going, you can't get to where it is that you want to go. And so he has you get clear on what it is you want to go. He said, if you take 100 people and ask them what their purpose in life is or what they're seeking to do, he said 98 out of 100 have no idea. They give you general goals. Like, I want to be happier. I want to be filled with love. Hi, Grinch Mom. Good to see you on here. So you want to have specific measurable goals. So, like, for instance, when you get in your car and you're putting an address in your GPS, you don't just put San Diego because it's too vague. You put in specifically where you want to go and your GPS will take you there. So in like fashion, you want to get clear on what it is you want to do, because then it'll build up your desire and you'll impress these ideas on your subconscious, which is one with the infinite power of the universe, and it can create the reality you want. I'm a realtor and want to sell 10 houses this year. How do you manifest that? So I used to work for BMW, and I said, I want to have the highest closing percentage for BMW in the United States. I used to work for AutoNation. It's the largest automotive retailer. And they would put out a list every quarter of who had the highest closing percentage amongst all car brands that they owned. They owned tons of dealerships, BMW, Mercedes, Subaru, all these dealerships. And so what I did was, every day as I drive to work, I would ask myself, what would it feel like if I was number 1 in sales? And I would see my name on the list, and I would feel as if that took place for me right now, and I would see people congratulating me. So in your case, what would it feel like if you sold 10 homes? Would you see the increased money in your bank account? Would you see yourself winning an award? See and feel as if you have that now. So I would do that every day when I'd go to work, just for 2 minutes, a minute or two. Why? Because it only takes 33 seconds on average to go from your conscious mind into your subconscious. Now, I did this for a few weeks or maybe longer, and I would just do it every day as I would drive to work. And then one day I was typing at my desk, and I hear somebody say, they go, "Tony's number one." And I'm like, what? I was in the middle of working a deal. And everyone starts like clapping and congratulating me. They're like, "Yeah, you're number one. Congrats, Tony." And I go, "Number one in what?" And they go, you have the highest e-com closing percentage in Southern California. I was number one, what I had been envisioning. So, and my check ended up coming out really nice that month. So, in like fashion, that's what you want to do. Just ask yourself, what would it feel like if I was this person? By the way, I got this from Neville. What would it feel like if you were the person you wanted to be? Ask yourself this question daily. What would it feel like if I was the person I wanted to be? And you want to get into that feeling tone of it. Feeling is the secret. He talks about that. So just ask yourself that question. See and feel as if you have it now, as if you are that person. And then expect it as you go through your day. And you'll be putting forth the vibration, and you have to attract people, situations, circumstances, and events that match up with it. Hi, sweetest. Nice to see you on here. Someone asked LOA. We're talking about everything. We've been talking about a number of spiritual laws. So everything from the law of assumption to law of attraction. We've just been talking about manifesting in general. So, all right, let me see. If there's any other questions, I will answer them. And if there's not, I appreciate you guys joining me on my live. If you guys want me to, does this time work good for everybody? Thanks, Jindu. And if this time does, then I'll probably do more lives at this kind of time. And if it doesn't, then I'll figure something else out. Okay, cool. So, looks like I answered everybody's questions. Thank you guys for talking with me. It's been a pleasure, and I'll probably be on either tomorrow or the day after. So, okay, cool, awesome. And hi, Jennifer. It's good to see you on here. Good night. I thought you had stopped lives. I took a break for a while from lives. Oh, hello. Hi, Sherry. Thank you. I took a break for a while because I needed to focus on myself. I get so many requests for my time and energy. And as my friend Manifestation Alchemy said earlier, if my cup's not full, I don't have anything to give you guys. And so I was starting to get really wore down, and I didn't like it. So I want to take some time to rejuvenate. And then now I have things where they're more balanced. And so I'll be doing more content from here. So, okay, cool. On that note, I love you all, and have a great night, everybody. I don't know how to sign off, so I think you guys are all 7 a.m. London, good for you for resting. Awesome. All right, thanks. I don't know how to sign off on this, so let's see. I have to close the whole app. What am I doing? Oh, there it is.